All right, June the 9th here in Richmond, Virginia. Last night's feature presentation, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, 1982. Surprised how few reviews there are of this film on YouTube, but thought I'd do one myself. I'm not going to give it, I don't think enough of this movie to give it a lot of my time and attention, but I will just give it a little review and hopefully maybe some different takes from the other reviews. A lot of them praising the film, and there's one out there that says it sucks, but it's probably the best one, because it talks about the good points of it, but the guy does a really good job with this review. This one directed by Cameron Crowe, written by, I forget the woman's name, starring Judge Reinhold as Brad Hamilton. He was really good at Vice Versa, 1987, with Fred Savage, a role reversal film, comedy. And if you look at the other people who tried out or that they considered for the role of Brad Hamilton, I'm just really happy that they went with Judge Reinhold. Also Jennifer Jason Leigh, who plays his sister Stacey Hamilton. She was in, a lot of people know her from Single White Female, 1991 or 2. But she's really good in The Hitcher, 1986, with Rutger Hauer and C. Thomas Howell. And she's really good in this. She's probably the best looking one in this one, too. Brian Backer as Mark Racker, a.k.a. Rat. Robert Romanus as Damone. And Phoebe Cates as the best friend of Stacy, always giving her bad advice. Works with her at Perry's Pizza. Ray Walston is Mr. Hand. He was in Damn Yankees way back in the, I think, 1960 maybe. And he was also really good in Of Mice and Men, 1992. Ray Walston. Ray Walston was also in the Fast Times TV show. It was one of the few carryovers. The bio teacher is also in it. I think that TV show did fairly well too. Sean Penn as Jeff Cooley. Vincent Schiavalli, I don't know how to say his name, is the bio teacher. I don't know if he has a name, but that I just mentioned. He's really good in this. You can also see him as a ghost in the movie, the 1990 film Ghost, Patrick Swayze. He's good. The guy down in the subway, a little creepy looking. Much different character than in this movie, but he really shines in his short screen time in Fast Times. All right. Tom Nolan is Dennis Taylor. I talked about Tom Nolan when I did a short School Spirit review. School Spirit 1985, I believe. Never realized that was Tom Nolan because he looks, this movie is 3 years before School Spirit, yet he looks older in this movie than he does in the 1985 movie School Spirit, where he is the star, he is the lead actor. And he's playing like, I don't remember if it's high school or college, but he was really old to be playing either one. It's Tom Nolan. Amanda Weiss is Lisa, the girlfriend of Brad Hamilton, who wants to break up with her. She ends up breaking up with him. Forrest Whitaker is in this too. Used fairly well in a couple of scenes, but not used well in the football scene at all. We've got Nicolas Cage in his first movie with no lines. Does he have a name, or is he just like Brad's bud, I think is maybe his, maybe what he's credited as. Pamela Springsteen is one of the cheerleaders. I don't think she has a line, but she's notable because she was dating Sean Penn at the time. She later was the lead actress in Sleepaway Camp 2 and then Sleepaway Camp 3. So you get to see old Pam Springsteen in this. And then the other cheerleader who talks more is Kelly Maroney, who was in Chopping Mall in 1986, one of the girls in that movie. Thought that face looked familiar. You got Mike Russo. No, let's do the Stoner Buds are some pretty big names. Eric Stoltz, one of the guys who was considered for the Brad role, I think. So Eric Stoltz, and then Anthony Edwards, who was like in one of those Doctor ER TV shows in the 90s. Anthony Edwards, you guys know what I'm talking about? Alright, make sure I don't miss anyone. Mark Russo is the robber. I think Mark Russo went on to do fairly well, but he's the robber at the end of the 7-Eleven. And alright, we got Scott Thompson as Arnold. And we got, don't forget, D.W. Brown as Ron Johnson, the stereo salesman. And then, of course, Taylor Negron, rest in peace, as the pizza guy. He's really good in The Last Boy Scout and other movies. Nice, quietly evil guy. Give me more Brad Hamilton. That's what I wanted to see. More developing of his character. I wanted to follow him more. That's always my biggest complaint with this film. The TV version, edited version, has the scene where he sees the guidance counselor. I can't remember exactly what happens, but she tells him something about high school can't be all fun. Then he goes off on her about, I got fired from my job, my girlfriend broke up with me, and all this other stuff. Fun? I'm waiting for the fun to begin, which is just that realistic teen frustration and then taking it out on an authority figure. It's a shame they deleted this scene from the movie in the DVD version, VHS version, in favor of making more screen time for Spicoli, which was completely unnecessary. I really liked the relationship between Brad and his sister Stacy. I think that was a really nice little kind of subplot thing there. Like him running into her at the abortion clinic, the flowers, all that stuff. They could have done even a little bit more with that. I really liked it. I thought it was really good. I really liked those scenes. Some people complain about the kind of the dark turn that it takes. And I understand that, like when you have the pregnancy and there's not as much humor in the second half, and the whole thing with Damone weaseling out of paying half for the abortion and taking her to the clinic for it. It's kind of good in a couple ways because it's, again, it kind of gels the relationship between Brad and Stacy, as well as exposing Damone as kind of a fraud. And you see the way that he gets his car, graffiti on his car and on his locker and stuff, and he kind of, his whole like macho ladies man image is like ripped to shreds pretty much. And that's realistic to me. So I thought that was a couple of good things that came out of that. So I don't think it's that bad. So a few things that I like about the Spicoli character. Obviously the "you dick" is one. The gnarly when he sees the bio teacher pull the heart out, and then the reaction of the bio teacher when he kind of does that, that's really good. And then his reaction at the end to Brad taking out the robber is really good. And that's all right, Hamilton. Like those are three great moments for Spicoli. Other than that, there was just a lot of unnecessary crap, like the surfer fantasy, the Mr. Hand visiting his house, and the Wooly Bully dancing on the stage. It's just completely didn't need to be done. I can live with the pizza scene. That's fine. But that's it. Give the role to Eric Stoltz, or give it to even like Nicolas Cage if they could have done it well and done it with a little more humility and not bullying Cameron Crowe into having more screen time and into getting the role too. That is a fact. I want to see a little more of Bronco Burger guy too. The guy played by what the hell's his name? Arnold, sorry. Played by Scott Thompson. I want to see him a little more. That guy was kind of cool. You see him at the, when he works at All American Burger, he asks Brad for a job, and then you also see him. There's a kind of a forgotten scene near the lockers where Damone is not just a scalper for rock concerts. He does like little betting pools, which that's the scene that kind of slips by where he's taking a bet from Arnold, and he says, "Don't forget the 14-point spread," and Arnold's all confused about it. That's kind of a forgotten thing in there. So I want to see a little bit more of Arnold. Okay, and again, with Spicoli, the scene where the shirtless scene, that's all right too, with the two stoner buds, Anthony Edwards and Eric Stoltz. That's pretty good too, because you get to see Brad Hamilton for his age. He's really he's flashing some middle management skills by adhering to the rules, telling them about the no shirts, no shoes, no dice. You see him, he knows the procedures. He trains Arnold with making the burgers and stuff like that. So I kind of like that aspect of Brad. Kind of follows the protocol. Wants to find the forms for the guy who complains about the undercooked breakfast. So I want to see a little more of them all. Definitely want to see a little more of them all. Maybe go back to Ron Johnson. Show him maybe show what happened to him, like in the stereo shop. I want to see just one more little thing of him. Maybe kind of expose him a little bit as a fraud, This movie really has no point overall. It's one that I can get up from and leave like during the movie. I'm not engrossed in it. I can get up and do laundry and stuff and miss certain scenes. So it's not a great movie, but it's a fun one to watch. So Fast Times at Ridgemont High, 1982. All right. Thanks for watching my review of it, and I'll see you guys later.